recording. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I am Sherry Hemstreet. If you don't know me, welcome. I'm so happy you are here. I'm excited to share this with you today and spend some time with you. And we are going to dive into how to make 10K part-time with digital products with me, Sherry Hemstreet, your host. And it's going to be a very relaxed and chill training. If you've joined me for any other trainings, you know that I'm a pretty chill and relaxed person. Everything is just kind of what it is. And I don't get too caught up in things. I just speak very freely, drink coffee, and have a good time. Because if you're not having fun and you're not having a good time, nobody wants to do it, even making money. So I will be available for questions, and I will be around to, speak to privately, DM, whatever it is you want. So before we begin, very quickly, I know there are some people who are very interested in just getting the link and purchasing. And so if that's you and you just want to purchase and you have other things to do right now, you can DM me and I will get you that link. But very quickly, what I am selling, and I am selling something, we are all here and I'm selling something, is access to license one of my best-selling, best-performing, profit-producing, proven programs. And what you're going to be able to do is sell that as much as you want. All of the proceeds will go directly into your bank account and they will be yours. And that is absolutely what's for sale. Very simple. It's for less than I've ever charged for it. So it's going to be a pretty interesting thing. Now, I know there are others here that want all of the deeds, have the questions, want the whole game plan. I got you. We're going to dive in just to keep things making sense for everybody. I'm going to take a couple of minutes and talk about who I am. I know a lot of you already know me, but a lot of people are getting this replay, and I don't actually know everybody who's here, so it's pretty exciting. So my name is Sherry Hemstreet. I have been a serial business owner for about 30 years. So that means I started when I was 2. Okay, I'm lying, math. But really, I have owned businesses for 30 years, just over 30 years. I've been in business in some form or capacity. I've owned brick and mortar stores. I've been in partnerships, and I've owned online businesses and consultancies, different capacities. I've had makeup businesses. I've done it all. I've done much too much for my age. And I'm just really unemployable. I just don't even want to work for somebody because I can't imagine building someone else's dream. But to give you an idea of where I came online about 16 years ago in 2008, is that 16 or is it 15? It doesn't really matter. Like if you're upset over a year, I'm not one on math. Like I'm not a math person. I'm a money person, not a math person. But so when I came online back in 2008, it was a very different thing. It was a very much harder way to make money than it is now. It has never been easier to make online profits than it is right now. And it is insane how easy it is, like literally insane how easy it is. And I hear you. I know you're like, Sherry, I've been trying for years. It hasn't worked, or I've made a little bit and it's never taken off. I've never got the consistency. I got you. I'm going to cover that. So I got into the online world through blogging and through affiliate sales and it was like the bro marketers club. Like I was in a room with a bunch of men who were, swinging their phallus around like it mattered, right? And that's where the online world really started. There weren't a lot of women who were doing the thing because it was very male driven, and that's cool. Like I was just like, whatever. And I had some success there. But what really happened is in 2014, I finally cracked the code. And yes, I call it cracking the code because everything came together. And I made my first 12K month, my first 6 figures. I did the whole thing. And I did exactly what my coaches told me not to do. So for those of you who are in the online space, if you're in the coaching industry or if you're in the spiritual sector, you probably have noticed that there are psychic business coaches out there. I started that. That was like my revolution. My coaches were all like, no, do not call yourself a psychic business coach. There are none. That's ridiculous. No one's going to believe it. You won't make any money. I made insane amounts of money. I literally made so much money. I started a program called Psychic Millionaire. But I'm also the reason you see the psychic business coaches out there today. And a lot of the ones who are doing very well, I trained and I showed them how to do it and how to access their psychic gifts and how to have success. So that's like my little claim to fame. It's kind of funny now that I think about it because I'm so far removed from that and in a much more grounded space. But um, yeah, so I did that. And then and that was 2014. And then I guess it was around 2017 that I made seven figures. Went into business with my business bestie. Some of you know her, Dana. And then in 2020, we just all kind of went our own way because of the panorama. Oh, this is my recording. I can say pandemic. And I continued to make that kind of money. I continued to have really big months. I continued to serve clients, but I didn't love it. And in 2020, when everything happened, I took a step back from business because I did not love it. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I was selling clients 50K packages. I had hit all of those big milestones, right? And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this so you understand where I'm coming from. And one, like how legit and the things I've done are, but also like it there's nothing special about me. High school dropout. I never was made to look this way on paper. Nobody ever would like say, yes, that girl is going to go far and she's going to do it. I was not that girl, right? But I was driven, I was determined, and it was important to me. I grew up very poor. I was a single mom. My mom was a single mom. There was a lot of that going on. And so all of that contributed to why I'm here today and why you're here today. And so when I walked away from that business, I walked away from a seven-figure business, to be clear. And I had had the $200,000 days. I'd had the $146,000 weeks. I had the retreats. I was living in a $1 million house in the most expensive neighborhood that paid all of the taxes for New Orleans. I had reached everything I could imagine. I literally hit all the milestones and I was doing the thing, right? Like I had access to fly privately. I was flying first class. I was doing just traveling. I was doing it all. I was serving clients at a very high level, selling 50K packages, selling 50K paid in full packages. And this is all important, right? Like I'm not saying this to brag. You're going to see why this is so important as we get into this. And it's all for a purpose. I'm not just saying this so I can say, look at me. Like I have considerably downsized my life. We are living in my rental that I had never planned on living in. And I have completely realigned my values. I love my business now. I am massively in love with my business. I'm in love with every person that I work with. I'm in love with everything that I do. And there was a point when I had gotten so far away from that and who I am and who I was in my heart that I didn't love it. So at this point in my life, I'm very values driven and very mission driven. And that's how we got here today. Because as I mentioned, I was raised by a single mom. We were poor. Life was tough. I grew up in a pretty poor neighborhood. Like there was more single parents than probably parents who had both families. I don't know, maybe, right? But like nobody made a big deal about it because it was that common. And so, and I didn't think I was poor, right? Like I had a great childhood, even though it was tough. But, you look back and you're like, oh, and I even went this like, changed schools, went to a really rich school. And I was like, how do these people live? Like, who are these people? What is going on here? It's so weird to me. And that was my first exposure to people who had more money. But to be blatantly honest with you, I didn't think it was even possible. Now, granted, I grew up in like the 80s and the 90s, so we're going to be gentle and generous in our assumptions here. But I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, right? You get it. And I didn't know anyone who made more than 60,000 a year. But here's the thing. I didn't know anyone who made 60,000 a year. I just thought that 60,000 was like the most anyone could make. I thought that was really people had like made it then, right? Like it never even occurred to me that people were so wealthy or like the things that I started doing, even in my 20s, my first 50K month, that happened just at the end of at the beginning of my 30s. I take that back. My first 50K cash month came at the beginning of my 30s, and I never even thought that was possible. In fact, I just wrote a post recently talking about every time I had a big cash influx, it would knock me on my butt. And I'm trying to be PG here. If you know me, you know I'm not a very PG person. So, um, you know, I will keep it pretty moderate. But I I didn't even think that was possible, right? And it was crazy to me. In fact, before that, my average was about 10 to 15K a month. And dude, I thought I was balling. I was like NBA stars are the only people who make more money than me, right? Like this is how naive my little 20-year-old brain was. And I think it's so cute now, right? Like I look back at who I was and I was like, that girl was so sweet and so cute. And she just didn't have a lick of sense and know all the things that there are in the world. But a lot of that is due to the internet coming online, right? And so, with that being said, I did get into the online business and I did learn a lot of things and I did get introduced to things that were insane, right? I got introduced to, and to be fair, I worked with a lot of wealthy people in my 20s. So that was one of the things is I started watching wealthy people, seeing how they moved. I started I'm very fascinated by how people's brains work and what moves people and what makes them move and the dynamics of how they process things. And so we'll just call it human behavior because it is, right? Human psychology and behavior is my biggest interest. And I took, yeah, way too many years of that in college. And they're like, you should do something and get a degree here. And I was like, that's not why I'm here. Right. So I went to college. I put myself through college as a single mom, had a live in nanny, and I literally gave my son the life that I never had. It was insane, the things that we would do. Um, and so it was just a different experience and it was a lot of choices. And so when I went to college for like international business. I went to college for business law, psychology, many psychologies, ethics, different things like that. I only took the classes that interested me and then I quit going because I never intended to actually get a degree. But I was the National Honor Society and everything else before I just stopped. And that was intentional. I consciously knew that I was not going to stay in college because that was not the end game for me. I knew in my 20s I was unemployable. So fast forward to my 20s and going through that, and I was in a space where I was exposed to a lot of really wealthy people and I would study them and I would see how people would react and I would see how people would act around money and talk about money and do the things. And with that, I started taking things in. I started noticing my thoughts and other women's thoughts. And I started seeing these patterns. And these are very important because this is the basis of the ultimate wealth breakthrough. And so, in learning and studying these patterns, I started to be able to push my ceiling up, right? So like I ended up making 60,000 like as a very young 20-year, I think I was 21 when I made 60,000. So that was quite the accomplishment, but there I started understanding that there was more money to be made and more money to be made and I started seeing people who were making more money who had access to more money and they weren't necessarily smarter and they weren't necessarily like they didn't have these brilliant degrees. In fact, a lot of them didn't have degrees and they didn't have this they weren't Elon Musk and they weren't these famous and powerful people. And so I started to really understand and dissect what was going on there. And all of this helped me to raise my income floor and raise my income ceiling, right? So whereas my first year in my 20s, I was able to make 60,000. By 23, I think I was at six figures. And then by 28, it got ridiculous. Like I was making 10 and 12, 15K months. And then around 30, 31, I had my 50K month, right? And I'm not telling you this to brag again. I am telling you this because it took me that long to actually understand how my mind works with money, to see what was going on with money, to see how this all worked. Like, and maybe this is really easy for some people, but I think money is a very difficult thing for most people. So the thing that I noticed is that everybody in the world is pretty much conditioned by money, and it's those thoughts. So, like, here's how to tell if you have conditioning around money. One, you're just not making the money you want, right? That means you either have a ceiling or a floor that aren't where they need to be. And that's going to be because of your beliefs, your behavior, and probably your upbringing, as well as like where you see yourself being able to go and what you see yourself being able to do. The second thing to know that you have beliefs about money is like if you ever say things like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, or my favorite one, I can't afford that, right? And I can't afford that is one of the things I talk about with my clients all the time because I'm like, there is no such thing as you can't afford it. There has never been more money in circulation. There has never been more assets that are in circulation. There has never been more access to money and assets for the common person. We are in a place where the playing field to become rich is absolutely, we are not like, this is not the time of JD Rockefeller, right? Like back then, it was very difficult to actually be able to make money. You had to have access to this and you had to be positioned to make money when it was Andrew Carnegie and JD Rockefeller. And you had to have a lot of money to make money. When I had my first 12K month, I literally had no money invested, none. I had a PayPal account, a Facebook profile, like nothing. I had nothing. And so this is why this is the greatest time to be doing this. And the thing is, if you have the thought that you can't afford something, I know that seems very real. And your mind is logicizing that out, going, but Sherry, I have these bills, but I have this, but I have these responsibilities. You don't know I have these disabilities. I have these problems. I have these health problems. I have lived all of that. I have gone through health problems over the last 4 years. I have gone through having, being in a car wreck and having to support myself and my son and not being able to work for months. I have gone through a lot of things. So I am not a privileged person that has a silver spoon or a golden spoon stuck down my throat that's, gagging on it and telling you that you can actually do this without having done it myself. Now, your limitations are going to come from your thoughts. So when you say, I don't have the money for that, what you're really saying is, I don't believe in myself. I'm not willing to do what it takes to get there. I don't believe I'm the person that can do that. I'm going to accept my limitations. And all of that's very harsh. Like, I get it. And I'm not saying that that is what any of you are thinking. I'm showing you as an illustration. And then the last thing that I'll say about conditioning about money, excuse me, getting more comfortable here, is the things that you are conditioned to by society and family, well-meaning people, right? Like, money doesn't grow on trees. Money is hard. Oh God, like just stick a nail through my head. How many of you like drop in the comments, money is hard, right? And we've grown up thinking this and believing this. Just drop a one in the comments if this has been you, right? Money is hard. And so what happens is when you believe that, when you have that experience, your subconscious creates that identity that money is hard. So money is going to be hard for you. Like I have lived this so hard. And I have seen it. And I have lived through saying I can't afford things. And like, that is not the case. Can I afford a jet? I don't know if I could afford a jet. But even if I could right now, that's not the best space for my resources. Now that is an entirely different way of thinking, right? I haven't explored whether or not I can afford a jet. Do I even want a jet? Is that where I want my resources to go? These are the things that you have to consider when you are working to expand your financial wealth consciousness, right? And that's what I did. That's what I did literally all through my 20s and 30s. And then I got into the online world. I started my online business at 40. Nobody do math. Just don't do math. For me, it's not fun. We'll just ignore that, right? And so, like I said, I hit 7 figures, but to get there, I started out where everyone else started out. I started out where you are. And it was hard. I had to learn copywriting, emails. I had to learn persuasion. I had to find clients. I had to learn how to build an audience. I had to learn how to be an influencer. I had to learn how to like have authority. I had to learn positioning. I had to learn how to coach. I had to learn like the list of things that I had to learn was insane. And as I was learning these things and as I was expanding my wealth consciousness, paying mindset coaches 50K, paying business coaches that weren't should have never charged this 100K, paying people 20 to 100K left and right. I've invested at least $500,000 into my brain and what I can do. But what I learned more than anything, the most valuable thing I learned was that it wasn't my skills. You see, all of those things that I learned, I couldn't have learned if I wouldn't have expanded my consciousness in the way that I became the person who did that. I recently had somebody come to me and they were asking me how I get to be so good at sales, how I got to be so good at selling 50K packages and getting paid in full. And I said, it's very simple. I never hired a sales coach, which is completely counterintuitive. Am I right? I never hired a sales coach because I did the work on myself, and through my own financial expansion and wealth consciousness, I understood who I had to be. I understood who I had to be. I understood myself better. I could hear the other person and I could communicate to them in a way that I didn't need a sales program because I wasn't selling anyone. And that's the one thing that I want to say is this is not about sales, right? If you have to sell someone, you have to convince them that you have what they need. If someone can't tell if you have what they need without you pushing them, forcing them, beating them over the head, convincing and doing a song and dance, they're not your customer or your client. You don't need them. They don't need you. Like, let the waters part, let them go on their way. And I firmly believe that. I don't sell anyone. I don't do any of that. In fact, there will be no hard sales here today. Like, you can either get in or you cannot get in, right? So, and I have a list here. I have a list because I did not get to put it on my computer today because I've been going all around and around. So why all of this matters to you is I created and sold my best-selling program with my biz bestie. Many of you know Dana. That program was called the Ultimate Wealth Breakthrough. In the Ultimate Wealth Breakthrough, we've had over 100. There was hundreds of women that went through this, but literally hundreds of women that went through it live with us, and over 100 women got incredible results from it, like incredible results from it. Now, that doesn't mean the rest of the women didn't get results, but I'm talking like star striking results, right? And this program was simply about the pieces between the mindset, the behaviors, the actions, the identity, who you are being, that it takes for you to increase and expand your wealth consciousness to receive more money, right? Because receiving more money is more about who you think you are and what you think is available to you than anything else. And so that was the biggest lever that we were pulling in there. And we had people in there that were like, they had only made a $2,000 month before that, and they were walking away with $7,500 cash that month. We had other people. We had a multi-millionaire, and I mean like a deca multi-millionaire, reach out, and he was a man, and he's like, y'all have something about how easy you make money and how you talk about how money can be easy. And he's like, I'd really like to experience that because, and this guy had made at this time, he was around 50 million or something ridiculous, right? And I was like, you're coming to us to make money? Like you've made 50 million, right? But he's like, yeah, but like, I feel like I've had to work for a lot of it and I don't want that anymore. And literally he worked with us and we took him through the same process of the UWB. 6 months later, he ended up making like 160,000 in 2 months. And he said it was the easiest money he ever made. And I was like, well, it's not the most money I've ever seen, but like, I'm glad you enjoyed making it and it was easy. That's great, right? Like, it wasn't the most impressive thing, when somebody's making 50 million, but 160K in 2 months is pretty good. But my point here is we had women who were going through that who with just a couple tweaks would go from like 5 to 30K months, who would go from like, making 10 to 20K months. And it was because of who they were becoming through the process of expanding their financial consciousness, their wealth consciousness, what they thought was available and available to them. And I know a lot of you, I'm actually looking at y'all, a lot of y'all actually took that course and it's getting updated. So it's we first ran that, I want to say in 2016 or 2017. And we continued to run it through 2020. And I looked back at it and there is so much that I've learned in the last 4 years and so many other things that I have done to accelerate my clients' results and help them to get more expansion and receive more money. And it's just a higher level quality, right? As I work with clients, and at this point I've worked with over 3,400 clients, as I work with more clients, every time I get into their energy, my energy expands and I have the access for feedback and experience and we're going through the things. So I looked back at it and I was like, there's a lot that could be updated and made even better. And so that's what I'm doing. And that's why we're here. But the big question is, why am I doing this? Why am I licensing this product? Now, for those of you who don't know what licensing is, right? And the UWB is the product I'm licensing. So licensing is a really great thing. A lot of you may look around online and you'll see something called MRR, master resale rights. Yeah. So a lot of you will see like MRR. You'll probably see affiliate sales. You could see PLR. There's a lot of different things out there. I have done affiliate sales. I have done PLR. And I recently did buy an exact program, the best one on the market, that I modeled this after and innovated it to include the pieces that the program was missing. And I'll get into that, but let me break this down for you. Master resale rights. The reason I don't agree with the name master resale rights is one, it's licensing, and master resale rights implies that you have like the master license to sell this, right? And the fact is you have a license to sell this, right? And you do have resale rights. You can resell this. This is just reseller rights. Master resale rights is really marketing. Okay. And marketers ruin everything, as we know. So I just want to be clear why I am calling this licensing, because I want to be crystal clear and because I plan on creating, with your help, with your assistance, with your collaboration and partnership, a movement. What is that movement? And this has been on my heart since I started my business. This has always been who I am. I've always given to single mothers. I've always helped people. We were evacuated for Katrina, and I gave a homeless man my last $40, and my husband was just, I saw the look on his face and I was like, look, I don't care. That guy needs it more than we do. Like, I don't know where the next $40 is going to come from, but like, I can make money anywhere. This is not a problem, but he has real problems. And that's something that I learned in my 20s, that as long as money was the only problem I had, I didn't have a problem, because money is not a problem. The problem around money is how you feel about it, how you think about it, how you behave around it. It's not your skill level. It's not anything else, right? And so as I started my business, I'd always come back to this. I'd always come back to the fact that I want to give back. And I did give back in a big way. I give away more of my programs than anyone I know. I contribute and donate to single women, to child trafficking, to ORS, right? The Underground Railroad. I do so much, because it is important to me. I had people stand here and help me on my way up. And there's nothing more important than reaching back down and helping others, or reaching across the table and helping someone. And I truly believe that. And so I was telling my best friend about starting this, and she's like, Cher, you've wanted to do that since I've known you. She's like, you've always wanted to find a way to make this work. And it's true. But I'm going to be very honest with you. It took a very long time for me to be in a position to do this. And I remember wanting to do this in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and I finally gave up in 2018. And here's why. I could not figure out how to make it work. I couldn't figure that out because there were parts of me that couldn't fathom that somebody else would collect $1,000 or $2,000 that I had created something for and done something for. Now, to understand this, you have to understand in the beginning of my online career, I was working to create my existence for me and my family. I was the breadwinner. I was putting my husband through school, putting my daughter through private school. Everything came down to me, everything, right? And that was a pretty big thing. But then when I hit seven figures, and then when I continued to make a lot of money, as I did this, my business grew. And like, my home expenses were 15,000 a month. My business expenses were 15,000 a month. Like I needed at least 30,000 a month just to live. Seems outrageous. Like I look back at that and I'm like, how far off the rails did I possibly get? It's insane. But a lot of that has been scaled back. And I honestly wasn't in a position, like I needed the money to live. And that's one of the things is everyone asks me like, well, how are you making money? Well, many years ago, back in 2020, I stopped coaching unless I actually wanted to work with you because I didn't need the money. I no longer depend on my coaching to pay my bills. I no longer depend on my business for me to eat, right? So I have funnels set up, I have passive income, I have investments. I still have coaching clients. I still have private clients that I work with who pay anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 a month, depending on what we're working on. And so these are things that really light me up, but I'm no longer in the hustle space of like, I am selling a program this month so I can feed my family, so I can maintain my business, so I can do the things. And that's the difference of why I'm now able to release that $900 for somebody else to capitalize on and for someone else to bank. And to be honest, there was a mindset issue there, right? Like I had to get past that, but I also had to grow past that. There was nothing that I could do to make this faster. And so in that space, and by the way, like also nothing is preventing me from selling my own $900 program. Like it's my program. I too have a license. If I'm already going to be delivering it for your people, I don't have a problem putting some of my own people in there and making some money also, right? But the fact of the matter is that I'm a servant. I love to serve. I love to give back. I love to coach. And many of you who have worked with me in some capacity have seen that. I will coach the hell out of somebody, regardless of what the price point has been, for whatever, just whatever, because I can see the greatness within you. And like, my God, somebody has to, because we usually can't see our own greatness. And this is the easiest way for me to do that. This is the easiest way for me to reach many, many people and create a transformation is if you and I partner together, join arms, lock arms, and together we rise by changing the lives of others, right? And so that's really how all of this came about, is that my mission is to put money, cold hard cash, into the hands of other people. Because I realized one day, and God also had many discussions about this with me. And whether those discussions were really great or not, it doesn't really matter because I'm here now and I got the memo and the message, thanks God. But one day he said to me, he's like, I get that you want to help people, but how much can you help people when you're asking them to give you money? And it was like, well, that's like how the world works, right? like I know you're out there and all abundance, but I'm right here. And some days I have an abundance of chocolate and some days I don't. And he's like, yeah, I get that. He said, but that's what you want more than anything. I said, I know it is, right? Like it really is. I feel for like every single mother out there. And this is not just about single mothers. So like if you're a guy on here or if you have guys that you want to invite into this, it is not just about single mothers. That is where my heart like just cracks open. Okay. This is for anyone who is driven and wants to actually find a way to create profits online. So let me be clear on that. But my particular mission, and we'll work on your particular mission when we're working together. But my particular mission is to put money into the hands of women, because when women feel good, women do good. Women are the ones changing the world. Like, there is so much wealth available, but women are still getting the short end of the stick. And so he's like, you got to quit taking the money from them. And I'm like, so I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, yes, women have given me money and I may have provided value, but I didn't, like, there was no guarantee there. There was no, like, and there's no guarantee here. Let me be clear. There's no guarantee. What you do is what you do. But it still put a lot of the burden on them. A lot of people can't or won't or don't want to do what I do, right? So a lot of people don't want to go live. A lot of people don't want to learn marketing. A lot of people don't want to learn email marketing, sequencing, tech, how to run a team, how to make things. It takes a lot. 16 years I have been learning this stuff. And I finally, in the last 4 years, have hit such a level of mastery. But also I invested such, I could have bought, I don't know how many businesses, and turned that 500,000 into, I don't even know what by now, right? Like, if I would have put that in crypto, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I would own Richard Branson's island. So, but you get my point here. And so I really had to think on that, because it was becoming time for this to happen. So what I did was I bought a digital product that someone else is selling, the best on the market. I've been researching this for years and years. We are so far off of my notes. It's terrible. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. This happens all the time. I just speak from my heart. Some people like it. Some people don't. Some people left. Some people stayed. We're just here doing the thing, right? So, somebody remind me where I was. I just forgot. I just had a brain collapse. Oh, so how this came about is I bought somebody else's digital product. I had been researching this for like years, because I had been on TikTok making passive income. Like, amen, thank you for that. That was an amazing experience. And that income stream was just so good. And that's going to be included in this. But I had come across so many things, and I looked at them and I'm like, here's why that won't work. Here's why that won't work. And just so you understand, I spent many years as a business coach, having a business for 30 years. I've been in many people's businesses. I have been mentored by bajillionaires. Like, I don't know how many millions of dollars some of these people had. Even outside of the coaching, marketing, online industry, I have had mentors that are worth millions in the real world. Millions in the real world. Like, I call the real world the offline world, right? They made their money the hard way, right? In a whole different way. And that's okay. So I would look at these and I could start to see the holes of why they weren't working. And then I was introduced to this one, and I was like, that one has it. But here's what this one was. You literally bought a business product that you then sold a business product on how to sell a business product that was a business product that you learned how to sell. Did anyone follow that? Because it's stupid, right? So I learned to be a coach, to teach coaches, to coach coaches so they could coach coaches, to coach the coach. Like, we all get where that's going. And I went through the program and it was good. Don't get me wrong. They had a lot of things that were good, but what they didn't have is the very high level strategic pieces that would make what I'm doing better. And so I wrote a post about this on my Facebook wall. You can go back and scroll, or if you need me to tag you in it. It's very important because it talks about a very few key pieces, and I'll cover some of them right here just quickly. So the things that I saw was, it was very simple, right? They did not have the best strategy. They were selling a product that was the product. So you bought a product that was the product. And as I sat there and watched people come in, so many people didn't know what the hell they bought, and they felt scammed, right? And obviously it's a digital product. There's no refunds. There's no exceptions. There's no exchanges. There's no chargebacks. There's no blah, 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 blah. We know how this works. And so some people were happy and some people were really not. And so I was like, well, this is a problem, right? And because I bought this, I have an inside view into what's working and what's not working. And I'm just sitting there looking at this and going, this is really great. And being an innovator that I am, I'm highly innovative, right? Like, if you've known me, you know the innovation that comes through me with different spiritual programs and things like that. But being the innovator that I am, I could see the weaknesses and the blind spots. And from working with people, one of my mentors literally, like, he's the ghost in the industry that you can't get to. And he has made people more money, literally to like $1 million a day. He's been in the online business since 2002. He makes me look like I'm walking around in diapers, sucking my thumb, going, I just don't know how to do this. Right. So that's the level that he's at. And I have 5 other coaches right now that are all on my payroll that I refer to. I just had a call with one today, and I will get in the group with one later. I continue to invest in myself. And so I'm seeing how this works, and I'm seeing where this could be better. And I'm seeing the things that are going to stop these people and hold them up. Now, this product has been on the market for 2 or 3 years. This woman has done incredibly well. She's making $100,000 a month. Her people are making 6 figures. Her people are doing incredible. She has people making 20, 30, 50K a month. She's created some millionaires. It's amazing. I love it. I love it for her, and I love it for the people, but I still see where it can be innovated. So I'm like, it would be so much better, because the number one thing I see in that group is people still hitting against their limits financially, still hitting against their mindset, still hitting against their identity, still hitting against their ceilings and not having a floor that's raising and not actually expanding financially with their money. And so I'm looking at all of this and I'm like, the best way I could do this would be to sell the UWB for licensing and then include the entire business aspect, the blueprint aspect, the done for you aspect, right? The done for you plug and play, rejection free sales, automations aspect done for you, and coaching. Like, I keep moving back like there's like rows here. I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyway, so all 4 of those things are included, which is why it's very difficult to like just explain in one go round. So you may have questions after this. You may still have questions, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm opening up my best selling. So we all know this is my best selling program. We made multiple 6 figures for this. People paid anywhere from 3 to 10K to work with us through this, outside of just the program itself, which was like $15.99, right? So that was the standard price for this. And we were even going to raise it to 2,000, you know, the almighty 2,000, before we shut it down and just like was like, forget it, we're just done, right? And so in that space, I'm like, I can redo the UWB. I can walk all of the founders through it live. So when you partner with me, when we collaborate, when we get into this together, you're going to get in as a founder, and I'll explain what that is later. But you're going to go through the UWB in real time, live with me, and you'll get coaching. And anyone that you bring in will go through it in real time, live, and get coaching. And so I'm like, all right, great. So I'm going to license the UWB. And then I'm going to have all of these add-ons that they're going to get so I can help them create the success that they want. So I'm like, what do they need? They need automations. They need done for you business. They need done for you tech. They like all the things you can't do, I'm going to take on, me and my team. And so what you are getting is a transformational product. So you are actually getting something that you will see tangible results within yourself. You're not just buying a product to sell that product to sell it over and over and over, which is one of the ways that I make this more valuable. And what happens from that, where the real juice is the ongoing coaching with me. People have paid up to 50K cash to work with me for a very limited time. This is going to be ongoing coaching. I don't foresee this ending anytime soon, which is why people are like, how are you making money? So this is how it works. Every person you sell is going to go to your website that we're going to give you the plug and play things for, and you push the button and boom, you're good to go, right? And the money is going to go into your bank account because it's on your website. And then to complete the sale, and this is very transparent on every sales page we have made, on every checkout page we have made, all through the process. This is transparent. There will be a $29 tech and upkeep fee. That $29 tech fee is their website fee. So after they make the sale with you, they're going to be redirected to my page, and it's going to tell them you are going to finish your payment and make your $29 tech and website payment. And they're going to navigate to my page, and they're going to pay me $29, which is going to go to support my tech team, because I'm not fixing the tech clusters. I'm not fixing the tech catastrophes. That's not for me. The $29 takes care of the websites and all of the things that go with it. And that's going to be very clear and transparent through this. So, people are like, what if I just want the program? Great. The program is still $9.29. Or I could sell it to you for $15.99. I'm okay with either one. Actually, I'd probably really enjoy the $15.99. But for every person you sell, you keep, it goes directly into your bank, the $900. Now, for every person they sell, they get access to the program, and they too get a license so they can sell it. They plug and play the same website, the same funnel, the same automations, the same process. So their money goes into their bank account, and then they're redirected to my page where they then deposit their $29 tech fee, right? So, and we're getting to the 10K part. We're getting there. Is everyone getting what I'm saying so far? I know it's taking a while. We're good. Let me scroll through here. I think we're good. Looks like everyone is getting it. Yes. Okay. So what this is going to look like for you is social selling. Now, there are already founders in place here, and they can confirm this, but I have already given them done for you marketing. They are getting done for you marketing so they can sell this right now in real time. They got it before this. When this replay goes out, they're going to get done for you marketing so they can advertise this and get it out there and start making money, right? Because this is the founders, period. Now, what does it mean to be a founder? A founder means that you're going to get all the perks, everything that goes with it for one price. I'll be honest. I'll be completely transparent. I am talking with my coaches, several different coaches. We are currently testing different pricing models. I cannot guarantee that this will always be $900. I cannot guarantee that this will always include everything you are getting today. I also can't guarantee that it won't always be $900, right? Did I say that right? Did I say that right? Like, I can't guarantee the price won't go up, and I can't guarantee the price won't go up. Won't. It'll stay the same. I don't know. Something's not working there. I'm trying to say one thing. So the price may go up and it may not go up. I can't guarantee either one, either way, because we're in testing mode. My coaches are like, you need to maximize this in a way in the future. You need to do things because you are providing more value than all the other programs out there. You're doing more than all the other programs. I'm looking at what they have to say. I've made no hard and fast decisions. I have several people in my business, several advisors, and I have a team that's working with me. And so we're just going through this. I'm open to everything, and I'm going to follow, as I always do, God's lead, my intuition, and creator. So with that being said, what you get today is you get full access to ongoing coaching from me. You get all of the things that I mentioned, all 4 pieces. If you don't have the document that contains all of this, send me a DM after this. I will get you the document. It's a 10-minute read, 12-minute if you read, like, while other things are going on around you. But anyway, so that's what you're going to get. And how you're going to sell this is through what's called social selling. And it doesn't matter if you don't have an audience. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you. I have sold like millions of dollars from my Facebook page alone, from my TikTok page, from funnels. I understand how to sell socially. Even if you don't have an audience, you can do this. I'm going to show you the fastest way to get the people that want to pay you. All of that is going to be included. You are going to get access to my brain at a level that no one has had access to before. Right? You're going to get the whole shebang of like the business side of me, the spiritual side of me, the money side of me, the technical side of me, and the transformational coaching side of me. So right now, I just want to know, we're going to drop this in the comments, right? So this is a question for you. But And everybody wants more money. So, like, if you're here and you're like, no, Sherry, I don't want more money, then this is not for you. I am not for you, right? Because here's what I know, I talk to millionaires and almost billionaires weekly. And even those people that I talk to want more money. They actively want more money. And it's not because they're greedy. Okay. That's a conditioning. That's what people want you to think. It's not because they're greedy. It's because money gives you leverage, money gives you opportunities, and money gives you the ability to help more people. The most generous people I know are the people with the most money. Everyone loves to say it's poor people, but poor people can only be generous so far. It's just how it is. They have limited resources. So I'm going to ask you just to drop in the comment right now. Let's think about it. This is August. So we have September, October, November, December. That's 4 months. What do you want to make that would make a difference in your life the last 4 months of the year? Just drop a number in the comments and be honest, right? And don't be like crazy, like, oh, I want to make $1 million. Like, of course, we all want to make $1 million. The chances of you winning the lottery are slim to so fucking none. It's not even funny, right? You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning in a swimming pool than you have of winning the damn lottery jackpot. Like, and let's face it, everybody who wins it, they all lose it because they don't have the wealth consciousness. So, like, even if you do win it, 10 to 20K. Let me see. I got to figure out how to open the chats. Good. All right. 10 to 12,000. That's good. I like that. 20K. Okay. Let me see. A couple more answers coming in. 15K a month. Okay, 75,000. So, Megan, that's a little ungrounded. Thank you for that. So, do you like, I know you've made 75,000 before, but like in such a small amount of time, right? So, like, in 4 months, that would be just under 20,000 a month, which you could still do. I'm not saying you can't, but like, here's the thing, and this is one of the things I talk about in the UWB, is I don't want you to set your sights so high that you set yourself up for failure, because that is another way the ego will work, right? And so when I work with clients, sometimes, and you've heard this before, it's the next best thing, right? People can really change their lives with an extra 2 or 3,000 a month, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. Now, can you get to the point where you're making 10 and 20,000 a month with this? Yes. I see people every day in this group that I am. They're like, I had 5 sales while I was sleeping. I went out to dinner with my husband and I got a sale. I got another $900 sale while I was at church. I'm getting these pings. It happens. It is going to take time to get there. There is still a learning curve. Right. And I'm going to be giving you the things, but this is still going to take about 2 hours a day from you. So, like, this is not like you sign up and you hand me $900 and you walk away and wait for the money to land in your mailbox. This is not magic mailbox money. This is real life internet profits. Does everyone get that? I think everyone is good. So here's what I believe. I believe an extra 10K, an extra 12K by the end of the year would change everyone's lives on here. And here's why. Here's how it would change your life. Yeah, the money, I don't need to tell you how money changes your life, but it would show you what you're capable of. It would start to actually build your confidence, and it would allow you to actually see how you behave, react, experience money when it is becoming easier. Because here is the thing about making money this way, and this is what knocked me on my ass. It's easy. And it's not even real, because I will tell you what happens. We're used to dealing with money like, here's some cash. Let me put the cash in my purse. Let me put the cash in my wallet. Let me pay for this. The cash comes in, the cash goes out. We hold the cash. When you are making money this way, it is so virtual. It becomes surreal. It just it becomes numbers in and numbers out, and numbers in and numbers out. And all of a sudden, you lose that tangible, grounded quality to money that you are used to. And so there's a learning curve, but there's an adaptation curve to actually allowing yourself to receive higher levels of money, higher amounts of money, right? And so those are going to be covered in the UWB. So like getting into the space where you are expanding your wealth consciousness, you will also be able to expand the amount of money you are able to receive. But that's not even the most important part. Who knows what the most important part about this is? Drop it in the comment. I want to know. This is where we participate. Who knows what the most important? I have mindset. What's the most important part about receiving money? Mindset, that's it? Nobody has any thoughts here? Come on. Open to receive. Well, you're already receiving, right? You've received the money. What's the most important part about receiving money? So you've received the money. I love iced coffee.
I can't get into the chat. I'm going to say to give it away.
Say that again.
To give it away.
Giving it away is not the most important, but I do appreciate that. I love that. I would hope that you wouldn't give it all away because you actually came very close. How to manage it, the ability to access more resources. Everyone is very close here. I'm going to say this. Y'all are all going to go, aha, right? So when the aha hits you, just drop aha in the comments. The most important part of receiving great amounts of money is the ability to keep great amounts of money and sustain it. Hold on to money is what I'm saying. The ability to hold on to money. Most people don't have the money they made 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago. And that's okay. But at some point, for you to get beyond where you are, you have to maintain and sustain a portion of your money. Is that like knocking everyone? Is that like I know everyone says have a retirement and an IRA and a Roth and investments, right? And I have those things, but the ability to create more of those things. Yep, I've got some ahas here. It's good. Truth. Yep. Okay, good. And part of it is learning how to manage, right? And that comes into the entire aspect of this. So we all know how to make money to a degree. We don't know how to make the amount we want, and we don't know how to sustain it and make the money work for us because we aren't taught this. And that's what the UWB and this are bringing together so beautifully. Because as you go through the UWB, you expand your consciousness to receive more income, but it's not an airy-fairy, ethereal, out there thing because you have a profit-producing product that you then get to market and test how you are expanding and see your results come back to you. And this is the thing that was always like lacking. Like people had to have their own product and be able to sell it and have an audience and have all those things that had to work. I am providing the things that have to work. You have to follow the blueprint and expand your wealth consciousness. And then we see how this is working for you. Does that make sense to everybody? In the comments, let me see where I am. Now, hundreds of people, good, I love this. Hundreds of people go out there. You may have even done this. They go out there and they're like, I want to create this. What was that? I want to create this product. I'm going to make this product. They spend a year making the product and they go out to sell it. Nobody wants to buy it. This is the most common thing I see. I have never made anything before I have sold it. I always do market responsiveness before I sell something, and then I create it after I sell it. So, and that is the problem. That is where most people do everything wrong, is they go make the product thinking they have to be in integrity and they have to have a product to sell first. That's not true. And when you have a product to sell, you haven't done the market responsiveness. You haven't done market research. You don't know if there's a gap in the market. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean you can. You don't know the messaging. You don't know all of these other things. And that is where people get defeated. We all know someone who, or have seen someone, or have been that person online that has poured tons of money into something and it hasn't worked, and we can't figure out why, right? There's 100 reasons why, but there's also 100 reasons that you were so close to making it work and you gave up or you just didn't stick with it. And I see it all the time, and it can be tough. I go back and forth on whether I'm really stupid for staying with it for like 6 years, not making the kind of income I needed, right? Like I look at that and I'm like, wow, was that really smart? But it was, right? It paid off, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody has the ability to work through all of that. Not everybody has the ability to sustain, and not everybody has the ability to take the losses, the failures, the hits, right? And so that's why this is so much better. So the thing about licensing is everything in the world is licensed. Marvel is licensing things. Disney licensed things. Um, who else licensed things? Like everybody does. Anytime you see something come to life out there, Roblox licensing, right? Anytime you see a product, it's not that these people that make the animation went out and made the product too. They licensed it to somebody who knows that. Music artists are licensing everything, right? So it's that, I don't know how to make plushies, but maybe I know how to make this. And so I make this digital product, but somebody else is like, hey, I can make plushies. There's a market for this. We're going to market it this way. We're going to make these ones. We'll do a test run. We'll do this. And then I'm going to get the sole licensing rights to this, right? So then one person or one company pays 25 million for the licensing rights, and then they have to make that money back. This is a much easier buy-in. You're paying $900 and you're getting a license that includes all of the things you need to make this work. And you're doing something that everyone does. It is done all across the board. Like, I'm sure I could look around right now, but I can't find any. HP licensed things, right? Amazon is licensing things, right? There's everything you look at has a licensing factor. And the great thing about this is it's not like affiliate sales. Now, affiliate sales, you've seen people have to like do a disclaimer, like I am an affiliate. I make a certain amount of money whenever you buy a product, but you are not charged for it. And you never blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to make these fucking claims. Like, I don't want to sit there and tell somebody I'm selling you something, but the UGC, user generated content and influencer market, has created the affiliate market to boom. But we are moving out of the UGC market, user generated content market, where we see people dancing for dollars and doing things on TikTok. And I don't mean that kind of dancing for dollars. I mean dancing for products and pointing to things so you buy the things, right? All of those things, all of the influencers, it is shifting to a market of like, this is how I can help you, to a market of authenticity. And the thing that I love about licensing is you don't have that disclaimer. It's simply, you bought a license, you sell the thing, I fulfill it. So upon you meeting somebody who's interested in making money and doing what you do, you send them to your website that's pre-made and everything's set up and goes to your bank account. And then at that point, I deliver and fulfill everything. So how much work do you have to do? Well, everyone's numbers are going to be different. So you need to sell about 1.5% to 3% of people. And that's the industry standard. So as many people as you talk to, you're going to sell about 1 to 3 out of every 10. This is just what people are going to buy. Now, there are 3 types of people that you are going to sell. People who don't know you, people who know you, and people who trust you. And I'm going to show you how to sell each one of those. And there's going to be done for you marketing around that. So the people who don't know you aren't going to buy from you right away, but they're going to watch you. And the people who know you may buy from you right away, but if not, they're going to watch you. Now, the people who are going to buy are the people who trust you. So this doesn't have to be a long sales process, but it also isn't going to be an instantaneous sales process. And I'm going to show you how to reach these people, how to find your right market, how to approach them, where they are hanging out, and how to get them into your sales funnel. In addition to that, I'm going to show you all the little pieces and parts that are going to make it better. We're going to find your exact avatar or ideal client. We're going to find your exact messaging, the thing that is going to move the needle for these people. Now, here's what makes this product really great is we're solving a pain point at a low price point of $900. People will pay $900 in an instant to solve something that is painful. That is what makes this so profitable. because people want to solve their pain. And there's never been a better time in the entire history of the world to solve a financial problem. Like, the financial problem for most people has never been so big. Like, when your groceries are more than your mortgage, and your mortgage, you know, is like it's insane where we are today. And that's why this is so important and so imperative. So I have all of the modules for the UWB outlined in a document. Just DM me for access to that. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a license. You cannot change the price. As long as you are in good standing, you always get to sell this for as long as it's actually available and working, right? And that's going to be at the very minimum a year. I expect this to be the thing I do for the next 5 or 10 years. As founders, you are going to be in a small group with me, and you are going to have direct access to me in a way that no one ever will again. You will be grandfathered in. Nothing will ever change for you. All of this, whoever you bring in during the founders, all of that will remain the same. Now, people are asking how long is founders, how many are going to be in it? I don't know. If you know me, you know I respond to God. You know I respond to following the lead of Creator. I've asked myself several times. I think I'm getting closer to an answer. I am definitely the one blocking the answer because I think that I have ideas of how this should be, and I'm not hearing, because that's what happens when you hear. And if you have thoughts of how you think it should be, you get your wires crossed. So I'm currently in having my wires crossed, and my line to God is, you know, I can't just call AT&T or Verizon and have them uncross my wires. So what you get is a license. You get the actual program, the UWB, the thing that I sold for $15.99, the thing that like people had bajillion-dollar breakthroughs. Some people here took it. They had incredible breakthroughs. You know, people have worked with me in many capacities and added 6 to 7 figures to their bottom line over the years. And that hasn't just been 1 or 2 clients. This has been something that has been ongoing. I did not get to this level of success by not getting other people results. You get the blueprint on how you generate income. So let's talk about that. To get to 10K months, you have got, very simply, to reach out to your inner circle first. So the first thing you want to do is make a list of everyone you think would be interested in this, or everyone that would be a good fit for this. That's where the bulk of your 10K, your first 10K, is going to come from. Now, after that, after you exhaust your inner circle, you're going to go to your outer circle. And whether you're doing this like on Facebook or in real life or on another social platform, this is where you're going to start seeding people who are going to respond. This is called attraction marketing. You are going to start attracting people who are interested in what you have to say and what you have to share. That is going to, I'm hoping that you get your first 10K from your inner circle. But if not, that's okay, because your outer circle is going to then provide that. And what's going to happen is they are going to know people, and people are going to actually see what's going on. And we're going to hit that compound state, right? We all know about compound interest. So once you get past your inner circle, you move into an outer circle of attraction, and things start to expand from there. The first 10 sales are critical, and then they get easier, right? Because you have a curve there, and you have social proof, and you have the ability to know that you do it. And so to do this, right, I want everyone to have these sales literally. I would like the next 2 months. I believe everybody could literally do it in the next 30 to 45 days. I believe that. It depends on what you're willing to do and how far you are willing to go. Right? Like, I see the value in this, and I literally message anybody that is in my inner circle, and I'm like, hey, you need this, and you need this because of this. Like, I have no problems, because this product is kind of like drugs. It sells itself if you have the right data and the right resources to present. I'm going to do sales events for people where you can invite your people in. I will sell for you and you get the money. I'm going to show you how to put together groups so you can actually sell all at once. I will come in and do the selling if you like, and you can keep the money. Basically, I will do anything I have to do for you to make money, right? So as long as you have some people together, I will present, I will go in, I will help you. Now, some people I know are going to say this sounds like an MLM, this sounds like network marketing. No, it is not. I am committed to your success. The only way I get to live my dream and my dream comes true is if you get to make money. What is my dream? I want to create a movement, a mission. I want to create a mission where more women and people who are willing to do the work than ever create money from something that I have given, and it creates the impact that I want. I have made all the money. I'm happy with all the money. I am into a space where what I want to do is to create impact. Totally different. You're going to get the plug and play business system that's done for you for rejection-free sales. Now, this is where somebody goes to your website, they get a freebie that we're going to make. I'm going to create all the business assets, all the lead magnets, all the things that you need to sell to people. Yes, there are going to be multiple ones to make it easy because I want you to find what works for your audience. I want you to have the available resources that you need, which is another thing that this business did not have. You got one resource and people either got in or they got out. There was no second chances. And so I want you to be able to target different markets and verticals, and I want you to have the resources that will work. And so I'm going to provide all of that. Now, how are these rejection-free sales? It's simple. Once you send somebody to your website, you're hands off. You don't have to fouiller is a Louisiana. It's a New Orleans word. You don't have to fool with them anymore. Right? So what I mean by that is I used to hand sell everyone the first couple of years of my business till I executed and implemented all my funnels to get hands off. Hand selling is the most painful thing in the world. Every single sale, I had to get in the DMs or get on a call and talk to somebody and go through the sales process. This is all going to be done for you. And this is why it's rejection free. And this is why, because people hate sales and they feel like sales are slimy and sleazy and it's uncomfortable. So I'm taking that off your plate. I don't want you to have to do it. The sales funnel is going to do it. Do we need to come up with our own URL for our website? It's your website. You don't have to. There is one supplied with it, but I would advise you to do something that was like your name or branded or something that spoke to your client, but it is included in the done for you. But it's not going to be the URL that's pretty. It's going to be like this dot this dot this dot that slash this. Okay. The coaching. Obviously, if you've ever worked with me or have my coaching, it is completely transformational. So you're going to get all of that. Now, we have gone through a market where we have seen influencers, bloggers, the gurus, everyone rise to the top. We've seen the UGC market explode where people are out there and doing this. There are so many ways I could have gone with this. I could run ads and sell this. I've done that. I'm great at running ads. I have a team that can do it. I know how to make ads work and how to make them profitable. I know how to scale. I could sell this for 10K and do this. I may still do that. I love the 10K mark for programs. It's very easy. I can like knock out 100,000 a month very quickly that way. I could get UGC content made. I could pay influencers. I could do affiliates. I could do everything. I have chosen to do this because I am in a mission-driven state. I am working from my values. I'm no longer chasing money. I know it, like, you know, it's a little embarrassing to say that there was a young version of me that was just like dollar, 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 yo. So cringe. We're just gonna ignore that. Right? There was a part of me that was just like, oh, it's money. I made this much. Oh, I made this much. I hit all of those milestones. And you know what they did? They left me empty. Every time I hit more money, I didn't understand why it felt so empty. And it took me many years to figure that out. Like I would have a client pay me 50K and I'm like, that was great. I remember sitting down at my table and being like, yeah, so I made 151,000 today. My grandma looks over, she's like, oh, that's nice, dear. My husband's like, good, congratulations. And I was like, that's great. My kid has no idea what, like, she was like, it was just as empty for me as it was for them. And it took me a while to realize it wasn't the making money part of it that brought me the most amount of joy. What brought me the most amount of joy was seeing others break through, seeing others live their dreams, seeing others do what I had shown them was possible for them. And so we're moving out of the UGC. We're moving into a more authentic space of like helping people, sharing what's going on. I'm going to teach you all of the methods. So if you want to take the information I'm giving you and create your own course or your own product or your own digital business, you can do that also. This is not like just sell this product I'm licensing to you. When you get done with this, you're going to be really smart at this. And if you want, you can do this on your own for your own stuff. But this is absolutely the way I would go if I had to start over. And I would never do it the same way I did it the first time. Selling someone else's market proven product is a no-brainer. Like, it does not get easier than this to earn and learn. I cannot say that enough. Like, this was not even available when I started. And the last thing I want to say is when I started my business, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I made my first 6K with under 500 people on my email list. And I think I only had like 1,500 when I hit 7 figures, right? And the thing that you are going to learn, probably more than anything, is that when you get results for people, they trust you. And you build a relationship with them. And at the end of the day, you can sell them anything. And that anything doesn't have a limit on the price. I'm dead serious. And it's because of the relationship you've built and what you have done for them by opening the door, by being there by their side, by showing them the path, whatever the case is. So can you make money even beyond my product? Hell yes. Do you have to? Hell no. This gets to go where you want it to go. So the first thing I would say is start getting to the point where you can make 10K a month easily. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. There's a few social tweaks. I'm going to teach you my exact organic marketing so you don't have to spend money on ads. This is the marketing that literally has people paying me all over social media very easily. You're going to get everything I do. You will either be able to swipe, recreate, or actually have installed for you, like done. So what's the catch? This is the catch. You're a founder. Very small amounts of this are built already. It's going to start with the UWB. There are going to be hiccups. Everything is not going to run smoothly. You may get frustrated at some point with me, with why this isn't the way you want it, or this isn't that, or like human nature takes over. I can't guarantee this will be the smoothest ride of your life for the first month, 2 months, 3 months. I can guarantee you've never had an opportunity like this and somebody who wants you to succeed as much as I do. Is it going to be perfect? No. I just had to fire somebody literally this morning off my team. So now I'm down to 2 and me. And I already have people who are now applying for that position. So after I get off this call, I have to go interview them and see what they've done. And I have to choose someone. Then I have to re-hand them all of the other person's responsibilities, right? So that's what's going on. It's not necessarily going to be a smooth ride. Am I going to work my ass off and try my damnedest to make it that way? Absolutely. Am I going to go above and beyond to make sure everyone is happy to the capacity that I absolutely can? Absolutely. I'm going to be there and I will do whatever I can for your success. But under no illusions, delusions, Delulu is not the Salulu here, okay? There will be hiccups. Sometimes the tech will not work exactly the way we want it. Life happens. I no longer let those things get to me. My nervous system doesn't need it. My emotional regulation doesn't need it. All of those things are included in the UWBB, right? All right. That's it. That's it. If you want, I have payments that are open. You can get payments. If you do pay in full, I am going to have an actual audit for social media that I'm going to do for everyone who has started already as a founder and for everyone who joins in the next 48 hours. So is that by Friday? No, 24 hours. I'm sorry. We'll just do 48 hours. I already said that. I don't want to be an ass. So what's 48 hours from now? Somebody speak.
Saturday at noon Pacific time.
Okay, that's great. So by Saturday at noon Pacific time. Thank you. Thank you. Saturday. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. You forgot the hour. He's cursing me. I know it. It's okay. He loves me. So by Saturday at whatever time it is where you are, 48 hours from now, if you join before then, you are going to get an actual call where I will audit your socials and give you things to do right away. Now, I also want to explain there's an image on my Facebook wall that will show there is the UWB. This is actually the membership portal that's being built right now. There's the UWB, there's the blueprint, and then there's the 7-figure social selling, right? In addition to that, we are going to have other modules and classes and trainings that are available to you. Everything is being built out in real time. So you're going to get emails that say, hey, we just added this, go check it out. Hey, we just added that, go check it out. And you will get coaching from me twice a month, 2 times a week. So you will get 4 coaching sessions from me per month where you can get on and ask questions. You will have access to me in a group. You will have daily, as a founder, you will have daily access to me 24/7 in a group where I will be there to like whatever within reason. Anyway, and you'll also find out if you don't already know me, I joke a lot because I like to have fun. And money doesn't have to be so serious. All right, that's it. Will y'all be hosting the site or is that something I can do? Site is hosted. You just have to own your URL and it's all yours. Like all that is taken care of in your $29 fee. Now, of course, Tim, I know you're like the tech dude, so like you can do everything, but no, it's this. UGC is user-generated content. User-generated content is what you will see a lot of influencers who were paid to like, they get on TikTok and they're like, so I've been really tired lately. So I started taking all these LMNT things and these electrolytes and I have so much energy now. That's user-generated content. They want it to look like a commercial that isn't a commercial, but everyone has caught on to that and everyone is doing that now. And that's where all the companies were pushing their resources and everything else. But now people are like over it. They are trying to get away from that. So what we are doing instead of user-generated content is direct marketing response, which has a higher sales result. So the direct response is we're going to provide social proof. We're going to create content that grows the audience. I have all this done. It's all going to be available to you. In fact, founders are already getting swipes for you. In fact, somebody who's a founder can confirm this for people. That would be great. But they are already getting the swipes in marketing. And so there are 3 types of content. One is growth content, so you reach more people. The second is nurturing content, so the people that you are in connection with know, like, and trust you better, so they'll buy. And then the third type of content is conversion content. You don't have to know all of this stuff. You don't have to know the psychology. You don't have to know how to write copy. I do all of that. Yay, you're welcome, thanks. Because that's where most people fail. There are so many things to making social selling work. I am demystifying it. I'm giving you all of the secrets, all of the things that I have done to get where I am today. I am giving to you. If I have to say it one more time that it's $900, I might get sick because it really upsets my stomach. Like I'm still on the, like, I'm not on the fence on that. I'm just like, wow, I'm really doing that, right? No big deal. No big deal. I'm actually loving my mission, and I love the fact that everyone is willing to join and partner with me to make my dreams come true, which is to create a revolution, a movement, an impact. So, what questions do you have? And if you want to buy, just send me a DM and we can talk about it. So let me know what questions you have, or you can DM me with questions. Now would be great. Later would be great. Sunday will not be great. I will be offline. Do we have any questions? You're so welcome on the UGC. Okay. So coaching twice a week, 2 times a month until December. It's probably going to increase after December, but don't hold me to that. I don't know what 2025 is going to look like. But you just get access to me. Like you're a founder. You're already in, lady. Lady, her name is like Lady Lorena. I always mess it up, but yeah. So yeah, you're gonna get 4 calls a month. It's going to like you'll have access to it. You can send me your questions first of all, and I can go through it, or you can just hit me with your questions in the DMs because you're in the DMs. We have the group chat where you have super ultra access to me. So perfect, right? I love it. Okay. Are there any questions? No. Okay, so at this point, if any of my founders have any questions or want some coaching, I'm going to end the call for everyone else. So if you are not a founder and already in, and you have no questions, I want to say thank you for showing up and being a part of this. And the replay will go out. If you are here and you would like the replay, let me know. And the replay will be sent to you as soon as it is finished. It's going to take some time. I don't know how much time because I don't know whose responsibility that was. If that was the person we fired today, that's going to be pretty interesting. Yes, replay. Got it. All right. And so thank you for that. Anyone who is left that is not already a founder, you can exit the call and we will get you the replay. And thank you for being here. If you have questions, feel free to DM me. My DMs are always open. I am happy to answer questions. If you want the link, DM me and I will get you the link. Right now, there are currently full pay and payment plans available. The price will not always be this price, or it may always be this price. I don't know any of that yet. So that's my last disclosure. And it's now 2 o'clock. We are going to begin serving founders. Thank you for being here and thank you for your time. I'm going to stop the recording.